Pick a point of reference behind me. It can be anything. Do it right now before we go any further. Okay? It can be a cedar bush. For example, this row of cedar bushes, they're about 100 yards behind me. They're about 6 feet tall in actual height. Okay? Pick a tree from the forest. Pick a part of the snowbank. Okay? But don't pick the sun because it's going down. We don't want to pick a point of reference that is mobile. And that you'll find throughout this video might be challenging. And you're going to understand exactly what I mean when and if you see your point of reference move. Now, take your point of reference. I'm just using this bush right here as an example. Take your arrow, okay, with your cursor. Take your mouse, move the point of your cursor to your point of reference, and then take your hand off of your mouse, off of your mouse pad there on your laptop, or if you're on your phone, so that you don't accidentally move your arrow. Okay, you need to make sure that the tip of your arrow stays on your point of reference. Now, throughout the course of this video, don't watch me, listen to me, but keep your eyes on your point of reference. Okay? And first of all, you're like, okay, Crazy Lake, what are we looking for? Bigfoot, Sasquatch? I would ordinarily say potentially, but in this case, I'm going to say no. Okay, you're looking for something quite a bit different. And according to the experts who weighed in for Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 8, not to block your point of reference, which is available on Amazon, the link of which is in the description box below, as well as volumes 1 through 7. There's no Bigfoot Sasquatch here anyway. Let me explain that point, which is not the same as your point of reference. Don't confuse the two. Just a brief excerpt. It's hard to say words that end with P and T, RPT, or it has that combination anywhere in them, like exacerbate. That's a very difficult word to say. Try it. Anyway, there are some content creators, especially in regard to this type of content, whose viewers just worship the ground they walk on. I'm not one of them. Other content creators where they get fan mail constantly telling them how great they are and how wonderful they are. I'm not one of them. I get a lot of hate mail, I guess. But here's just in Volume 8, for the first time, we did something different. We being I. This stuff was written by, this is the stuff you don't see on the channel because these types of things are removed. But just to give you an example, to make my point of what we're not looking for today, and I'm going to show you what we are looking for, and stop watching me. Keep your eyes on your point of reference. And you see my point about the sun? It's just so ironic. This was not planned that there's a sun on this mug. Had you made that sun your point of reference would be gone. And I would have proven my point, which is not to be confused yet again with your point of preference, before I even told you what that point was. You'd be like, OMG, how do you do it again? I know. That's why I had to make sure you didn't pick a mobile point of reference. All right, but we're not looking for Bigfoot Sasquatch today, okay? Because according to the experts, it's one of the wonderful things about social media. Everybody gets to be an expert. Okay, this guy is a liar. That's me. I can't believe he has so many subscribers. I know Bigfoot is real because I've seen him, but this guy hasn't. He's doing this for money because he gets money from YouTube. And all you idiots, that would be you guys, are falling for it. I'm out. Come watch my channel where stuff is real. This person didn't use the word stuff. We get that a lot. It's very, they say that you draw more flies with honey than you do vinegar. It's amazing how many people Don't get that. All right. Just another example so that you'll understand we are not looking for the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch, which may or may not live in the forest behind my home. I'm going to go ahead and let you know what we're looking for because I know a lot of you have already seen it. You're like, OMG, I just saw a face in your field. That's what we're looking for. And the experts in Volume 8, available on Amazon by way of the link in the description box below, as well as Volumes 1 through 7 and all my super awesome full-length novels and other short story collections like October Nights, Trilogy of Terror 1.2, and... Sorry, I tried to... There's no such thing as too much coffee. I'll have you know. That's not my point. Not to be confused with your point of reference. And yes, you'll notice that just popped out of the woods. It wasn't there a minute ago. Don't you dare move your mouse. It's working. See, things start working and then you want to stop doing it. So many people do that. Oh, it works so good, I stopped doing it. Don't touch your mouse. Don't move your arrow. I know, you're seeing now, aren't you? You're getting it. And you don't even know what we're looking for yet. We're looking for faces in the field. And they're there, and the experts will prove this. But come on, first, just to make a couple more points that we're not looking for Bigfoot Sasquatch, okay? I live in Washington State. This is another expert here. And I have had firsthand encounters with Sasquatch. Everyone knows he lives in the Pacific Northwest. Where is this guy even at? Somewhere in the South? He talks like a hick. I know he's lying. And by the way, again, guys, this is me. I know he's lying. There are no Sasquatches in the South. It's too letter effing hot for them. You notice how quiet it just got? Don't let that encourage you, though, to go down there and move your arrow around your cursor. Don't touch that. Look at it, not me. And I know you're seeing stuff out of your peripheral vision right now, and that's the point of it all. Something just came into your line of sight peripherally, and if you move your stare and your glare away from your point of reference, it will disappear. It's how it works. It's just like you just can't see it anymore. And this is not a trick on your eyesight. It's how things work here. Okay. Oh, I can't even read that one. You know, the reason I don't read all these on here is because some of it is just so not appropriate for this platform or even YouTube. But some of it's just so rich, I've got to get it. Like Rex. This will be my last take on an expert, and then I'm going to show you what the experts are saying about the faces many of you are seeing right now by focusing on your point of reference and seeing this stuff coming to you by way of your peripheral vision. Okay, here's from some dude named Rex in Maine, okay? You know, this is an example of victimhood. You know what the biggest thing that sucks about being a victim is that when we're victims, we have no control over our situation. There is such thing as real victims, okay? I don't want to take anything away from anybody who has been in a position of really being a victim. But Rex, I don't think is quite the victim that he views himself as being here, and I think you'll agree. And Rex, the biggest problem with your level of victimhood is that you have taken away any power from yourself in changing your situation. You've given it all to me. God, there's a squirrel 2 feet away from me. At least it wants me to think it's a squirrel. Huh. I missed, by the, whatever. Some other guy said I was nuttier than a squirrel turd. How ironic. Okay, Kevin, you have summarily banned 6 of my various fake profiles, but I know you'll read this letter. Okay, Rex not only is an expert, but he can predict the future, because here I am reading his letter. You cannot get rid of me as easily as the stroke of a mouse click. I did not instruct you to stroke your mouse or click it. Okay, that's what Rex said. I know Bigfoot is real, and that's what it's called. Bigfoot, not Bigfoot Sasquatch, you buffoon. And I know he's real because I've seen him. Goes on and on and on. You thought I could spin a yarn? You thought I rambled? Pfft, Rex, talking about logging in Maine. He's been logging in Maine. His buddies went to get sandwiches at Subway. He falls asleep against a tree because he was laying against a tree. No, Rex, you were lying against the tree. Whatever. I kept it as you wrote it. Just makes me look like I need an editor. Okay. Now here. Okay. So we're past Rex's little nap while he's waiting on his submarine sandwich. Now, here's the part about you that really pisses me off. Oh, yeah, and by the way, he woke up and Bigfoot Sasquatch was there, who he says is Bigfoot. I say Bigfoot Sasquatch. We don't know which him, her, it, or they prefer. Okay, so he wakes up, Bigfoot's there, oh, it's going to eat me. But his buddies show up just in time with his submarine sandwiches. How convenient, Rex. So, yeah, I'm not discounting the story, but it's just whatever. Okay, now, back to Rex's story. Now, here's the part about you, that would be me, that really pisses me off, and it's why you'll never stop hearing from me. I was a good worker, the best, and I had big plans. I wanted to become a foreman and then a manager after that. I aspired to gain all the knowledge about timbering that I could and then eventually start my own logging company. But no, none of that was to be. For you see, when I told my friends about what I had seen lumbering over me, pun intended, as your dumbass might say. Pun? Oh, no, Rex. Maybe if you would have said logging over me, it would have been a pun. But the logging industry and the lumber industry, though very closely related, are two separate industries. So I would not have said that. Don't put words in my mouth, Rex. Blah, 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 etc., etc., your dumbass might say. I became the laughingstock, not just of our small timbering operation, but of our small town back home, about 2 hours south of where we were working that day. My sighting occurred more than a decade ago, and to this day, because of it, I am still merely a worker bee. My income has barely increased since the time I started on the job, and any likelihood of me achieving this mythical upward mobility is little to none. I don't blame you, Kevin, for the way I was treated originally, but I do blame you for the way I continue to be treated. People watch fake-ass hoaxers like you on the internet, someone who obviously has a screw or two loose. You not think I might have 3 or 4 loose there, Rex? And they assume that anyone who claims to have seen a Bigfoot, like myself, is batshit crazy. Just because you're batshit crazy doesn't mean I'm batshit crazy, but I cannot convince others that I'm not batshit crazy. It's safe to say that my experience with Bigfoot has ruined my life, and I certainly wish that you would stop your shenanigans because you make the case for people like me a lot worse. I hate you. Rex in Maine. P.S. This won't be the last you hear of me. Good, because Rex, I'm well underway with Volume 9, which should be released by the end of February, but I've stumbled upon writer's block. Could you... There's no such thing as too much coffee. Could you please, pretty please, send me some more hate mail so I can fill the volume and get it to publication? Just make sure, like you did with this time, to include that disclaimer that I can use it in video form or written format without any sort of, lawsuit. What was I even talking about? Oh, that. Did you see it? The faces. Yeah, I mean, here about 2 months ago, we did a video after Brittany actually got some pictures to me and circled the faces that she saw by doing something with the film, I think taking the negatives. And it's like, so many people see this. So, again, listen to this stuff, and it's going to explain why you're seeing with your peripheral vision what you're seeing while you stare intently upon your fixed point of reference that the arrow of your cursor should still be on, okay? It's all going to make perfect sense to you now because the experts are weighing in. Listen. I have been watching your channel with interest for about 4 months now. I have never seen the Bigfoot Sasquatch you claim may or may not live in the woods behind your home, so I'm leaning toward the may not part of that statement. Again, that's not what we're looking for here today anyway. However, I cannot help but notice that you have many, many faces in the forest behind your home. They are even in the trees. Maybe that wasn't a squirrel. Maybe it was a face. I believe they are demonic in nature, so please be careful. There you have it. I mean, that's just one. Some of you watching this might recognize something I read here because you might be who wrote it. Hold on. Before I go on to the next one, I must address a particular face. Didn't your mother tell you your face was going to stick like that if you kept doing that? Too late for that, guy. Jeez. I hope that's not the last thing that goes through my head just before I go to sleep tonight. Here we go. Another one. Another expert being kind enough to contact me and let me know what they see going on in these videos. I am a believer in all things Bigfoot Sasquatch, but I don't believe this guy. That would be me again. I think he's nuttier than a squirrel turd. There it is. Reminding me, since we did have one here, I'm making sure I'm not stepping in one. But I see lots of faces in his field. Freaky. I thought he was doing some kind of editing at first, but there's no way these things can be edited into the video like this. Some of them are scary. I know I see them, but F this guy. He's crazy. Another expert, okay? One of my fellow Southerners. I know Bigfoot is real. Down here in Louisiana, where I live, we have something similar. It's called the skunk ape. I've never seen the skunk ape, but I know it's real because my cousin has an experience with this skunk ape. I don't believe a word this crazy legs says in these videos, and I think he's making fun of those of us who believe. That would be, this guy's putting you guys who were watching this video in the same group with himself here, if you believe. But I see a lot of weird things in the background behind him, like faces. All right, here's another. Are you starting to understand why you're seeing some of the things you're seeing out here? The experts are confirming it for you. This isn't me. This isn't me. And if you've been following this channel for a long time, you know I have never, ever made the claim to have seen any of this stuff. Starting to hear some howls. Things get real creepy around here right around sunset. All right, let's let another expert weigh in here. I hope that one of these days, this ass clown, that would be me, comes face to face with a real Bigfoot and it tears him limb to limb. But can anyone else see all those faces? Why doesn't he talk about those? What do you think I'm doing right here, brah? Bigfoot is real, but there's not one in this guy's yard, but there sure are a lot of faces. Now, I know you're having a very hard time focusing on your point of reference right now because you just saw that too. And if you want to go ahead and take your eyes off your point of reference and watch that, go ahead. It wasn't supposed to be in this video. Again, that's not what this video is about. It just happened to show up. Like footsteps of something or someone that's not there. All right. I'll knock out a couple more of these, and I actually have to get some wood in for the night. It was 19 degrees Fahrenheit this morning when I woke up at like 5:30. Super cold. But guess what? We had no heat on in the house. We shut the updoor bedrooms, and when it gets that cold, shut the doors, and we kept the fire going. And no, this is not a tell. Somebody isn't talking about all the tells. You can tell when I'm lying because I scratched my neck. My neck itches, brah. Okay? I kept the wood stove burning all night, and when Dearly got up to have her coffee this morning, it was 21 degrees, and she said that it was too hot in the house. Isn't that a beautiful thing? I think so. Okay, here we go. Speaking of my wife, your wife's laugh is infectious. I can understand why she doesn't like to go into the woods and do a lot of videos with you anymore. I see the faces in the trees. Please don't point them out to her. I'm afraid she would get so scared if she saw them, she would go running back to Puerto Rico. Author's note. My wife is from the Philippines. Oh, I put that in there. Yeah. By the way, my wife's from the Philippines. Okay. One more. Okay, then I'm going to wrap this up. I got to get that wood in. I'm just thinking now about that toasty house. It's actually cold out here right now. This guy is a fake and a fraud, and he is going to lose everything once he's properly exposed. But what the letter F, they use like the real word, is up with all those faces in his woods? I mean, it just goes on. If you guys have not been, and this is the only volume where we actually let the experts weigh in. And there are some actual lengthy, letters and stories in here from the experts, and not all of them are hate mail. I mean, a couple of them say, there's help for me, or hope for me if I would get the help. I mean, it's not just all full bore hate, you know what I mean? But the rest, well, created by this guy and my experiences, and you're missing out. If you're not into this, series, you need to go ahead and get caught up, brah, because we're only weeks away from volume 9 coming out. And I know, I hear you. You're like, how many of these are you going to write? I don't know. Did the guys that started writing the dictionary know how many words were going to be in it? No. They just started at A and went until they got to Z. I bet if they had any clue what an undertaking they were undertaking, it would have seemed so daunting they might not have started. So I'm not even thinking about how many volumes I'm going to write because it might be discouraging. I'm just continuing to do it, brah. All right, one more. Then I've got to get the firewood in. First and foremost, this guy, me, is fake, and so is his videos. How stupid does he think we are? Okay, we would be you guys. This individual has put you in the same category with him again, okay? Bigfoot? Seriously? The next thing you know, he is going to be making videos claiming that the Loch Ness Monster lives in that little mud puddle of a pond in front of his house. They actually put pud puddle, so it would look like a typo if you read this, but I did my best not to change some of the grammatical errors and spelling errors to prove the authenticity of the experts. Okay? But what the F is up with all the faces I see hovering just above the ground all over his fields? Huh. You won't be seeing those faces in my fields anytime soon. So there you have it, guys. That explains what you may or may not have seen. Drifting back and forth, up and down, in and out, sideways, upside down, on its elbow and its hip, with one leg in the air, close to your point of reference throughout the entirety of this video. We know this because the experts have weighed in. See you for more next time.